Welcome back everyone. As most of you know, the new iPhone 13s just came out and I really do think there is a new perfect iPhone. Now I made a video very similar to this about a couple of months ago talking about my perfect iPhone at that moment, which was the iPhone 11 Pro or the iPhone 11 Pro Max. I mean, both of those are very, very good, but I think as of right now, there is a new perfect device in town. And I really do think it is the iPhone 13 Pro. I think this is probably the perfect iPhone, the best iPhone Apple has ever made as of this moment. But I do want to preface this by saying there are still a lot of issues with the iPhone 13 Pro. It still has a lot of problems, specifically with software. Luckily, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of hardware defects for the iPhone 13 Pros. I think there were a couple of screen issues here and there, but nothing super crazy. Nothing like I think the iPhone 11 Pro or iPhone 10, whatever display issue those were. It doesn't seem like we're having that on a widespread scale as we had before. So that's a big thing to keep in mind. All the issues are software related. So when I pick up my iPhone 13 Pro and I feel it and I mess with it, I'm just so happy that Apple chose to go this direction with the iPhone 13 Pro, and I'm actually kind of scared about the iPhone 14s because I feel like Apple's just going to go and decrease the battery life and do some other weird stuff with it. But the 13 Pro, from my tests, from my comparisons, has been a really good upgrade coming from the 12 Pro and from the 11 Pro. Now, the biggest differentiating factor, I think there's two of them. One, the battery life. Apple advertised that it was so much better and this and that, and it actually is way better from my tests. From the tests that I've done, nothing crazy. I just go and wait till they die. And the iPhone 13 Pro did a way better job than all the other iPhones that I have that are not the iPhone 13 series. Now, some Android phones did beat it, like the Samsung Galaxy S21, which is pretty crazy, but it makes sense. That has a way bigger battery. But the 13 Pro still has a very good battery life. And if you're coming from pretty much any other iPhone from before, and you're already on iOS 15, you're going to be getting a much better battery life from the 13 Pro, which is awesome. Now, on top of that, the display, that 120Hz panel is one of the biggest upgrades that Apple has ever made in terms of a panel. Since the iPhone 10, this is the biggest improvement we've gotten. The notch being smaller is not even that big of a deal. The actual panel itself doesn't look visually better, but that ProMotion, when you actually use it, that is the biggest differentiating factor. It just makes things look so much smoother, and it still has some improvements to be made. I think they need to really optimize it in terms of some software, and they also need to have some applications use it, because not all apps support, I don't think really many apps, most of the apps do not support the 120Hz refresh rate. So once that starts coming into fruition and more people start using it, that is going to be such a beautiful phone. And that actually makes me super excited about the future of the iPhone 13 Pros and just ProMotion in general. If you remember, with the iPhone 10, there were a lot of applications that weren't suited for that new, aspect ratio of the iPhone 10. So I think it took a little bit of time for most apps to actually switch over to that. And eventually we did get into that, specific size. Now, that kind of has to be the same thing for ProMotion. It's only a matter of time before apps like Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok utilize ProMotion, and it's not going to be visible every single moment, but there can be a lot of times where ProMotion can be used, and I'm very, very excited about it. Now, on top of that, like I mentioned, the performance, this is the best performing iPhone ever, but I didn't really find it to be one of the highlights of this phone. Neither the camera either. I didn't think the camera or the performance were the two things that I was, blown away by. I like cinematic mode, but you can get that on the iPhone 13 mini, which is way cheaper as well, so that's not a big difference. I'm just more so of a fan of the battery life and the display. Those are the main improvements. The performance, it's a little bit faster here and there from my tests. I've done like 50 comparisons already, but I didn't really see it being, the blown away performance that Apple is advertising. And the same exact thing with the camera. I've already done a camera comparison between this one and a lot of other iPhones, and I didn't really see it being that crazy either. So in terms of the overall features, I am extremely happy of this specific, device, and I cannot wait. And if you're in the market and you want to see a perfect iPhone, this is probably the one for you. So that pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.